Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends, especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, grab a pew, because I have been to a test screening of the Joaquin Phoenix starred Joker movie, and the commentary on this film about mental illness is off the scale. I tell you, off the scale. But it isn't tokenism. It isn't. Now, disclaimer, I'm not going to start spoiling the film or going into deep into details. I'm just going to give you an outline what I thought of the film. So, let's go. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is everything we dreamed of, we imagined. As soon as I knew this guy was cast, I thought something really special was happening here. Not just in the sense of this film, but in the sense of what Walter Hamada is doing with this DC world of films and having this DC dark kind of environment to make one-off standalone films. A lot of people have said to me, well, Mick, you know, compared to Heath Ledger, what's this guy like? Well, it's uncomparable. It's such a different Joker to what Heath did and what Christopher Nolan did. This is very different. This is a man, as I say, who is suffering with mental illness, but he attempts to be a normie. He tries so hard to fit into the world, but people just keep on knocking him down and knocking him down. He tries to be positive. He tries to be an uplifting character, but people just won't keep on knocking him down. And in the end, he breaks. And he kind of says, fuck this, I'm just going to be who I am. And this is the element. And as I say, the commentary on mental illness on this film is beautiful. If you're suffering with mental illness, you will really, really appreciate this film. But that doesn't mean they don't do the Joker justice. This is a focus. How any of us can become this thing that can become this insane killer, criminal, right? And the Joker is absolutely insane. And this Joker is absolutely insane. But you will see a build-up to that. You're going to see how this Joker becomes the Joker. Because he's literally just trying to hold it together. And he tries and he succeeds to a point. But as I say, he keeps on getting knocked down. And if you talk to people suffering with mental illness, this is something that they suffer with. Mental illness is an invisible thing. It's not a visible thing, and a lot of people just will tell you to toughen up. But in this film, it's represented in such a way, in such a beautiful way. Not a beautiful way in the sense of it being mental illness being a beautiful thing, but it's very realistic to what I've seen of the condition. Because mental illness isn't just one thing. There's so many different ways of suffering with mental illness. There's anxiety, there's schizophrenia. But this guy has got major issues. But as I say, he's really, really trying. He's trying his best. And he wants to make people laugh. And that's how he's holding it together. But there comes to a point in the film where he can no longer hold it together. His performance is so insightful, so deep, and you can tell that Joaquin took this role really seriously. Now, MCU fans will say, DC are taking themselves too seriously. There's nothing wrong with that. This is absolutely a standalone movie at this point. But I do have a theory. I do have a theory that this is actually the Joker of Matt Reeves, the Batman. I believe that. I believe they wouldn't go down this road with this actor and they put everything into this film. You know, the people I was watching this film with, people I didn't know before, we literally couldn't believe what we were watching. And you leave the experience just thinking, I can't wait for the public to watch this, to experience this, to say that, you know what, comic book adaptations or superhero movies. It's not a superhero movie, but he's a very big character within the DC verse, isn't he? I always knew the Joker would get a film, especially with Walter Hamada involved. But, you know, the Joker's been crying out for a film for years because he's the best. He is the best villain. When we talk about superhero movies with bland, incoherent villains, you know, the Joker isn't that. You can't really mess the Joker up because he's so awesome. But what the director and the writer of this film and Joachim put out is something. It's, in a lot of ways, it's a very, very old-fashioned mentality in the way they've done it. It's the way we used to see films executed in the 70s and in the 80s. And as I say, I'm not going to go into any details, or maybe I've gone into it too deep already. But I'm just kind of trying to explain to you that this is a character suffering a great deal, but he's trying so hard. And there are moments in this film that will absolutely break your heart, especially if you've suffered with mental illness, and I have had my bouts of anxiety, or you know people in this position. And to see this character, as I say, trying so hard, it is an absolutely amazing film. And I know people say this is an amazing film a lot these days, and they're not actually amazing films. We've seen that with Endgame. It's been put up there as the best film of all time. It's not. It's a good film, but it's not a great film. This is a great film in the sense of performances, the way it's directed, the story. It's all wonderfully done. And I'm very excited for the future of DC World. They're calling it that now. I'm calling it that. It's still the DCEU, not this aspect, but we call the DCEU that because that's how everyone recognises it. But DC World literally is these films put together, right? And so there's something incredibly special. I do believe we will see this guy maybe in the Batman. This is what I'm guessing now. I do have suspicions that maybe what we see in Wonder Woman 1984 may explain what we get from these DC World movies in the future. And I'm very excited and very interested in Wonder Woman 1984. So who knows if I'll get to see a test screening of that. I really hope so. But, you know, these things are lotteries. These are difficult things. And I'm just honoured that sometimes I get to see these films before anyone else has. And it's my honour and pleasure to talk to you about this film today. You see me here all the time talking about DC. You know I love DC. You know I love Superman. So important to me. You know, DC, especially Superman, has been there for me when, as I say, I've suffered with anxiety, when I've been lonely, when I haven't had any friends. And to see this film, and to see this character, and to see how he begins and what he becomes is absolutely devastating, heartbreaking, but it's great. And by the end, you will see a fantastic Joker. Now, I'm not going to disrespect Christopher Nolan or Heath Ledger and say, oh my God, this is better than that. They're different. They're different. Not one's better than the other. One's not worse than the other. As I say, I've enjoyed all the versions of the Joker I've seen, including Cesar Romero in the original Batman TV series. They've all been great. They've all been unique. Joaquin Phoenix gives us something unique and powerful. Damn it, that's what it is. It's a powerful interpretation of something extremely special. And as I say, after you've seen this film, I don't think you'll see the world the same again. It will help you understand what people are going through who suffer with a variety of mental illnesses. It's an absolutely a great film. I don't know what they're going to change. It will be very interesting to see that. If anything, I suspect they won't change very much. But what I can tell you is that the future of these DC movies are in great hands in terms of Walter Hamada and Peter Safran. These New Line Cinema people know exactly what they're doing. This is not the MCU. Going forward, we are not chasing the MCU. We are doing something extremely unique and different. And I believe that people will come and see these films and enjoy them.